What's going on, everybody? I want to say thank you to everyone who showed up in the live stream today. Once again, we had an amazing session. It's a great place to ask any questions about AMC that you might have. And we usually go live around 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time to around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And like I say, it's a great place to hang out and really get all your questions answered. But look, one of the biggest questions that we saw today was what's going on with the share count? What's going on with the share recount in this upcoming, shareholder on record date, June 2nd, and why they're pushing it off to announce the share count till July 29th. So that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video. You do not need to be worried. The share count is not something that you really need to be focused on. And it wasn't going to be a catalyst for this short squeeze to begin with. So let's address all of this in this video. And of course, if it sounds like something you're interested in, let's get started. What's up, everybody? I'm Clay. I'm here to make 2021 the best year ever. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Join us. Become a bro. We are here every single day, and we're growing our portfolios together. All right, so there's a lot of misinformation going around and a lot of misunderstanding going around regarding this share count and the shareholder on record date and everything that goes along with that, okay? I know there might be a lot of people who believe that the shareholder on record date, this upcoming shareholder meeting, is going to reveal how many synthetic shares are out there. It's not going to be the case. It was never going to be the case. And that's not what happens during shareholder meetings. So let's get a little bit better of an understanding about what happens at shareholder meetings, what shareholder on record date means, and what we can really draw from this, and what kind of information we could expect to hear. So a shareholder meeting, that's where all of the shareholders get together, cast their votes on what the company does in the future, board of directors, and all of that stuff that's going to be on the ballot, okay? Now, the shareholder on record date is an important date. This is what June 2nd is, and it simply means this. If you are a shareholder on record as of June 2nd, you will be allowed to participate in the upcoming shareholder meeting. That means that you own AMC. You are a shareholder on record as of that record date. So if you don't yet own a share of AMC and you would like to participate in the shareholder meeting, you need to own one at least on June 2nd through the close. And if you already own shares, make sure that you hold those shares and you hold them at least beyond June 2nd if you would like to participate in the upcoming vote. Now, let's talk about who shareholders on record are. Shareholders on record are anybody who is just that, on record with AMC as owning shares of AMC. You and I, we're most likely not shareholders on record, okay? I can speak for myself. I own my shares through my broker. That means that I am a proxy voter or a street name voter. That's what it's called. My broker is who the shareholder on record is, all right? Webull, Robinhood, whatever you use for your broker, they're the ones that receive the information from AMC, and then they pass that information along to you as street name shareholders. Now it might sound confusing, but it's really not. All right, we should expect the 450 million shareholders that were out there to be the shareholders on record, plus the newly issued 43 million shares they came out of the authorized shares a couple of weeks ago. Those are also now shareholders on record. BlackRock, Vanguard, whoever bought those shares, right? So we should expect roughly 493 million shareholders on record. And of course, that doesn't mean individual shareholders. That's the amount of shares that are on record. So clearly, institutions own large amounts. You and I own more than one share. So individual shareholders could be something that we see during this count. Now, yeah, it was reported that we had 3.2 million plus shareholders, and that was individual shareholders of AMC stock. What's going to be the significance if we see a larger or smaller number during the shareholder count? It's not going to change anything with the short squeeze. If we see that individual investors increased to 10 million, it's not going to change anything. That does not signify that there are more shares than there are shares outstanding. One of the indicators of that could be that either institutional investors sold off to more retail investors got in. Retail investors weren't willing to hold their entire portfolios. They needed to get rid of some of the shares that they had, and more retail investors came in and bought those shares. It could signify so many things. But just adding more retail investors or adding more individual investors to the equation does not indicate that there are more shares out there. It just means that there are more shareholders holding a more diversified portfolio. Now, if you were wondering if it's going to show the direct share count, this is not the case. If you were thinking that synthetic shares were going to be counted during this vote, that is not the case. This will not expose synthetic shares, and I say synthetics because that's the name that everybody likes to call them. They're more properly called phantom shares. When somebody naked shorts, or if you have a fail to deliver, that's a phantom share. Yes, it's a real thing. It happens. It gets in your portfolios. But I've done some other videos on that, and we can explain it a little bit more in detail during the live streams if you would like. But those shares do not carry voting rights. Okay, there's a lot of shares out there that don't carry voting rights. Phantom shares do not carry voting rights. If I own a share, I lend it out to a short seller, and then that short seller sells it to somebody else, I don't have voting rights on those shares that I lend out. The guy that bought them gets the voting rights. He legitimately bought those shares. He has the voting rights. I don't have the voting rights. The hedge fund that shorted it does not have the voting rights. The guy that owns it has the voting rights. So you're not going to see a share count based on who lent the shares and who got that lent out share. That's not going to be the case. So there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of misunderstanding surrounding this shareholder meeting and what it could actually show us. The extent of what it's going to show us are the number of shareholders on record. That's the 493 million, roughly 493 million people. Give or take, if AMC could issue more shares for executive packages and stuff like that. So roughly 493 million shares outstanding. Excellent. We already knew that. That's what we expect to see. Those are the shareholders on record. And it could also show us the amount of individual shareholders out there. How many accounts actually have AMC stock in their portfolio? But that doesn't signify that people are all holding the average amount of shares, that the average didn't change, or that synthetics were created in order to fulfill these portfolios. That would not be the case. And I want to end this by saying that, yes, although Adam Aaron liked to say things like what we know and all capitalized, what they know, yes, what they know is on record, absolutely. Guys, Adam Aaron is an excellent CEO for AMC. He is doing everything that he can to get this company through the pandemic, to keep it as far from bankruptcy as possible, to do what he needs to do to secure a positive, a financial future for AMC, and doing it in the best way that he knows how. Now, I don't want anybody to confuse this with his intentions to cause a short squeeze, or his idea that a short squeeze would be good for the financial future of AMC stock. I commend the man on everything he does for AMC, but I don't want people to start to speculate that things can happen or that he might be doing things that he's not intending to do. Look, the guy's got AMC in his focus. Absolutely, he's doing what's right. But we're here for a short squeeze. We're here to see prices in AMC stock that will never be attainable based on AMC's fundamentals, that will never be attainable based on AMC's income. The short squeeze is simple. It is what the hedge funds owe us. We know for a fact that there are 87 million shares being shorted on AMC stock right now, and that's the number that you should be using. Why? Do not get caught up thinking that we need to see millions or billions or trillions of synthetic shares out there, shares that don't exist. Don't get caught up thinking that we need those synthetics for the short squeeze to happen. We absolutely do not need those synthetics for the short squeeze to happen. What we need are the hedge funds to cover the shares that we know they owe us, that are reported as what they owe us, and they will cover those shares. It's as simple as that. And all we have to do, this is where the beauty is, all we have to do is not sell them the shares back. And then the price squeezes to numbers that you may never see again. The rest of the stock market's future, you may never see prices like this again if we are not willing to sell the shares back to the hedge funds. So guys, hopefully this sheds a little bit of light on what the share count is, what the whole thing is with this shareholder on record date. June 2nd, you hold AMC stock in your portfolios. You get to vote in the upcoming shareholder meeting. You have until July 29th in order to cast your vote and have your voice be heard and really control the future of AMC. It is a big responsibility. Yes, make sure to vote when that vote comes in from your broker. It is a very good thing to do. But please do not expect it to expose anything that you might hear some conspiracy theories about, or you might hear some people saying that there's billions, trillions, gazillions of synthetics out there. That's not what shareholder meetings are. That's not what shareholder on record dates are. That's not what they do. So hopefully this shed a little light, guys. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think that we needed this? Like, was it a catalyst? If you learned something from this video, let us know down there below as well. If that subscribe button is still red, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Join us. Become a bro. We are here every single day. We are growing our portfolios together. Twitter link in the description below as well. Webull link down there if you want to sign up, join a Webull account, deposit $100, get some free stocks, sell those free stocks, buy AMC. You got absolutely nothing into the short squeeze movement at that point. And hey, who can beat a free share of AMC, right? Now, until the next time, I hope that each and every one of you have an awesome day.